Imagine finally agreeing on a price for your valuable farmland, a significant milestone after all your hard work and negotiation. But wait, before that sale is truly complete and the funds are in your account, what about the final financial details that come into play? Are you completely clear on all the costs and expectations for you as the seller in this important transaction? When selling farmland, sellers typically incur a range of closing costs, which are expenses beyond the agreed-upon sale price that must be paid at the time of the real estate transfer. These often include real estate commissions, legal fees, title insurance premiums, and prorated property taxes. Collectively, these costs usually representing anywhere from 5% to 10% or sometimes even more of the overall sale price, depending heavily on the specifics of the transaction, the property's location, and local market practices. Understanding the components of these costs is crucial. The largest single expense for most sellers is often the real estate commission, which typically ranges from 5% to 6% of the final sale price and compensates the agents involved for their extensive work in marketing and negotiating the sale. Secondly, sellers will almost always have legal fees for their attorney. This professional drafts and reviews all contracts, ensures legal compliance, helps navigate any potential disputes, and represents your interests throughout the entire closing process. Another significant cost is the owner's title insurance policy. While this protects the buyer from future claims against the property's title due to past issues, in many regions, it is a traditional seller expense. You will also see prorated property taxes, where you pay your exact share of the annual property taxes up to the closing date, with the buyer then covering the remainder of the year. Additionally, various transfer taxes or recording fees may be charged by local government entities to officially record the change in ownership. Depending on the purchase agreement and condition of the property, you might also be responsible for costs related to updated surveys, environmental assessments, or specific repairs that were negotiated during the due diligence period. The precise mix and amount of these charges can vary significantly by state, county, and even by specific contractual agreements. To effectively prepare for and manage these expenses, it is highly advisable to request a detailed, itemized estimate of all potential closing costs from your chosen real estate agent or real estate attorney early in the selling process. This initial estimate will give you a clear financial picture. Furthermore, carefully and thoroughly reviewing the purchase agreement is essential. This document explicitly outlines who is responsible for which fees, as many closing costs are actually negotiable between the buyer and seller. Do not hesitate to discuss these points during the negotiation phase. One critical document you will receive just before closing is the closing disclosure, a detailed statement itemizing every fee, credit, and adjustment for both the buyer and seller. Becoming familiar with this document is key. Understanding terms like pro-rations, for example, which simply refer to the fair division of recurring expenses like property taxes or utility bills between the buyer and seller based on the actual closing date, can prevent any last-minute surprises. It is also good to differentiate between an owner's title policy, which protects the new owner's investment, and a lender's title policy, which specifically protects the mortgage lender against title defects. Both are typically purchased at closing, and knowing who pays for which is important. By gaining a clear understanding of these potential seller closing costs for your farmland, you empower yourself to approach your sale with confidence and excellent preparedness. This proactive knowledge not only allows you to budget accurately and negotiate smartly, but it also ensures a smoother, more transparent transaction that ultimately helps you maximize your financial outcome. This careful planning gives you invaluable peace of mind throughout what can be a complex selling process.